Hi, my name's Paul Mardell. I'm Technical Development Manager at NWF Agriculture. We're at Mr Richard's farm at Ridge End in Worcestershire, and we're just among his cows at the minute. So on one of my routine visits, then the first thing I will do is come into the cow shed and have a look round. At the minute, what I tend to do is just take a little bit of a step back and just look at cows, how many are led down, how many are ruminating, and then I go into a little bit more detail. So then I'll look at muck condition, rumen fill, and just a general sort of overview as to what's going on in the shed. Okay, so first thing I'm looking at now is I'm looking at the number of cows that are led down versus the number of cows that are stood up. And I'm also looking at the number of cows that are actively chewing the cud. And what I generally do is just count 10 cows, and from those 10 cows, work out how many are chewing the cud, and that will give me an example of how many cows are actually ruminating at any one time in terms of percentage. And we're looking for about 80% of the cows that are laying down to be ruminating at the same time. Also, what I'm looking at is I'm looking to count the number of chews. So you'll see a cow throw up a cud ball, up the esophagus, into the mouth, and she'll start chewing it. Now there's two things that are happening here. We're getting the mechanical chewing of the cud, which breaks down the fibre and breaks down the cud into smaller particles. And we're also getting saliva produced that is aiding that enzymatic breakdown. So we've got some enzymes that are produced within the saliva. That's helping break down that cud. And we're also getting some saliva that's then swallowed into the rumen to help buffer. So ruminating is really important. When a cow is sat down as well, we're getting more blood flow to the udder, and therefore she'll be producing more milk. So ideally, we want cows to be led down, chewing the cud. Another really good indication of how the diet is performing is looking at rumen fill. So rumen fill is a really quick, easy way to gauge how well the animal is actually eating the diet. We're always talking about increasing dry matter intakes, and this is a good indication of that in terms of how much has she actually eaten in the last 4 to 6 hours. So we always score it from the left-hand side because that's where the rumen sits. And basically what it gives us an indication on is in terms of volume of feed. So this is the area here that we're looking at in terms of rumen fill. If it was deep and concave there, then dry matter intakes have been insufficient, and we score it on a scale of 1 to 5, with 5 being very bulbous out here, with 1 being very concave, and in a milking cow like this, we're looking for a score of 3, and I would say she is probably at a score of 3. So that indicates that she has eaten enough today, and intakes have been pretty good.